Happy Thursday. Welcome to Read, Renew, Repeat, the 2024 Summer Library Program Virtual Workshop. I am so excited to be with you today, and we're going to get started. For those of you that do not know me and you're new, first of all, welcome. I want to send a warm welcome to you. My name is Janeé Jackson-Doering. I am the Youth Services Consultant for the State Library of Iowa. There's my contact information below, so feel free to reach out to me for any youth-related questions, concerns. If you're having troubles on programming or collection development, please reach out to me. I love to come visit your libraries. I love visiting libraries, and I also bring goodie bags of books with me. So please reach out. And with us today, we have our very special consultants. Sam is away today, but you are in luck. We have Brenda Hall, our library program director today, and Becky Heil, our Southeast District consultants. They'll be sharing the fun as we work through today's agenda. So, what is our plan today? This is our plan. We're going to look at the State Library Summer Resources and Templates. I really want to make sure you guys are fully aware of what resources the State Library has, and we have some new things on the horizon that I'll show you today. I will talk about using the guide very quickly. We'll also talk about prizes and registration. And I'll also share ideas for birth through kindergarten story time ideas, elementary age program ideas, tween and teen program ideas, and I will share some final thoughts, and then we'll move into our breakout session. Before we get started, also in the chat, please make sure you put in your first and last name and what library you're from, so that way Becky, who is taking attendance, can give you proper credit. So again, please put your first and last name and what library you're from in the chat box. Thank you. And really quickly, I just wanted to make sure I shared some friendly guidelines. Our expectation is that everyone contributes today, whether you are contributing via chat or using your microphone and camera. So please contribute because we learn from each other. Please make sure to share ideas in the chat. I'd love to read your comments and what you're thinking as we're going along today. Do be respectful of others. Please do go to the bathroom as needed, and do get inspired and have fun. This is a fun part of the summer library program experience, is planning. And this is a fun time, and I hope it'll be a fun time for you. We ask that you don't disparage others. Please don't be afraid to share. Again, we learn from each other. Don't forget to hydrate, because hydration is important. So please make sure you have some water with you. And don't forget to stand up and move. If you feel like you need to stretch and get some movement out, that's totally fine. All right, so we are going to talk about first the State Library Summer Resources and Templates. A lot of people I noticed on the the Summer Library Survey, a lot of people noted that they didn't know that the State Library offers templates. We have summer library templates that you can use, and I've created them courtesy of Canva. If you're not familiar with canva.com, on the State Library Summer Library Program page, there is a link to Canva, and there's a link to how to get started, a tutorial with Canva. So those resources are available to you. But I created several different reading logs that you can use for your summer library program. The first one is a bookmark reading log. So on the front, there's 4 different designs that you can use for kids and teens or adults. And then the back, there is a template where basically you can enter the amount of minutes kids or teens or adults read. And for each of those minutes, they just color in a circle When they get it done, they can turn it in for a prize. A lot of people liked this template, so I thought I would keep it. So that is the bookmark reading log. You guys also complimented the bingo game sheets, and you guys were like, please bring back the bingo game sheets. So yes, we have bingo game sheets. There's a bingo game sheet for birth through preschool on the left of your screen. In the middle, there's elementary, and on the side, teen. All of these templates are customizable, so you can customize them any way you want. If you want to make the teen one adaptable for an adult program, you sure can. So you can use this anytime you want. You don't have to use these just for summer as well. You can use them throughout the year. So those are the bingo game sheets for this year. I also created a reading activity challenge sheet this year. I had one last year, and I heard that a couple libraries really appreciated it. What it is basically for the grade level you have, I created two. There are, let me see, birth through fifth grade, and the other side is teens for grades 6 through 12. But basically, when they read for X amount of minutes, whatever you choose, or if they complete a learning activity, they just mark their progress. So they'll cross off a circle on the sheet. And once they filled out the whole sheet, they can bring their sheet to the completion slip to the library to be entered for a prize. So they can choose their activity. They could read or listen to a book for 20 minutes, or create a music playlist from a book you've read, write a story, or create a comic with your favorite book characters. So there's different activities they could do besides just reading. So it makes it more of a active, engaging type of challenge sheet. Also, I noticed that a lot of people wanted a game board, like just a simple game board for birth through preschool and elementary. I did not offer one last year, but I brought it back this year. And all the kids have to do is they mark off a circle for each book read, and they follow the little path to the free library, and they can turn their sheet in to the library for a prize. So I created this game board as well, using the artwork for this year's theme, Read, Renew, Repeat. And the other thing that was new, in the survey, someone said, can you guys put together some customizable calendars? It would just save some time. So I talked to our wonderful communication specialist, Emily Bainter, and she created customizable calendars that you can customize with Canva. The front has the month, and you can see how Emily put together different things such as teen movie night with free popcorn, or you can enter your different events and the times and where the event is. And on the back, you can also there's an optional back page, so that way you can add program descriptions, how to sign up for summer reading. Again, all customizable. If you want to change up the artwork or use something different, feel free. But this is another way to really reach your patrons, especially parents who are coming in saying, I need that calendar. Where's that calendar? We want to make this easy for you for this summer. So I'm so pleased that we could put that together. And I just want to say a special thank you to Emily for putting that together. She was fantastic, and she put together the finishing touches on the templates. Yes, and I see all this, the applause for Emily. Yes, thank you. Also, Samantha and I put together an instructional video on how to download the resource guide and graphics. It is on the State Library of Iowa's Summer Library Programming page, and it is also on YouTube. So if you have not downloaded the graphics and the resource guide, or if you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, you can click on that link or just copy the link into your browser, and it'll tell you step by step on how to download this year's resource guide and graphics. We sent the instructions and the link to download the resource guide and graphics on November 6th. If you did not receive that email with the instructions, please contact me, and I'm going to put in my email in the chat. So if you did not receive those instructions, please email me and I will send you those instructions as soon as possible. All right, so we're going to talk about using the guide really quickly. When you download the resource guide, there is a section called Using the Guide. And this box at the below that's in the black heavy font, you will plan your programs based on these categories. So EL is early literacy, C is for children, T is for teen, A is for adult, F is for family, and the double A stands for all ages. So those are the icons that you'll look for when you're starting to go through the programming guide or the arts and crafts portion of the resource guide. So I just wanted to make sure people are aware of that. And now we're going to talk about prizes and registration. What do you do for prizes for Read, Renew, Repeat? So these are some small prize incentive ideas for Read, Renew, Repeat. For birth through preschool, I would recommend having the little finger puppets, just the hard plastic finger puppets that are easy for babies and toddlers to play with in preschool. At the top, the bumblebee finger puppets are from iRead, and they have a catalog, and they can tell you how much those are. I liked these bottom finger puppets from Amazon.com because you get more in bulk and there's different animals that kids can choose from. Because you know how kids are, they love voice and choice, especially with teens, voice and choice. But I really like those finger puppets because they're different animals. It's in bulk. And with Read, Renew, Repeat, it's all about restoring, conservation, animals, protecting animals and wildlife. So we really wanted to promote something that gears to that. So those could be some prize ideas for birth through preschool. For elementary, you could have a little drawstring bag for each time they turn in their reading log or reading challenge sheet. Maybe they get a drawing or a pull draw bag. Maybe they get brag tags. I know Newton Public Library, every year they've given away brag tags for summer reading, and the kids love it. And they've partnered now, schoollife.com, who creates the brag tags, they've partnered with iRead to create Read, Renew, Repeat brag tags in honor of this year's theme. But I put the link to Amazon and to the iRead brag tags on there so you guys could take a peek. They have different bulk packages for the brag tags. So you can take a peek at schoollife.com and take a peek to see if those would be of interest to your kids. And for teens, I know teens, it's very hard to give them prize incentives and like small prize incentives. But for teens, think about mini notebooks or mini highlighters or pens. I really like this set from Amazon.com where it's the 6 different colors in a retractable pen. I love those. I've seen those given away at parties and events. That would be super cool for teens. So you could try those. Poppet bracelets. I'm really surprised poppets are still in. Poppet bracelets. You could use coupons if you have a partnership with a restaurant or a gas station. Maybe coupons for a small free food item. Just something small to keep that incentive going. Something small to say, yes, congratulations, you turned in your summer reading sheet. But these are just some small ideas for small prize incentives. Now for grand prize ideas, I thought of some different things, but in the resource guide on page 27, it also gives you a list of cool grand prize ideas you could think of for your kiddos at your library. For birth through preschool, they suggested giving away squishmallows. Squishmallows are huge. I'm really surprised at how much kids love squishmallows. iRead suggested purchasing some squishmallows of animals that are endangered and maybe giving those away as a prize. So I found a tiger and I found a panda on Amazon. The link is there to the prices. But that could be a wonderful, wonderful grand prize for a young kiddo, for a baby, toddler, or preschooler. For elementary, think outside the box. Maybe you offer them a STEM kit or a Lego kit as a grand prize. Or consider offering movie passes or passes to the zoo or a museum as a grand prize for completing the summer reading program. iRead has a LCD writing and drawing tablet from the iRead catalog. Looks like they're $7.50. They do take batteries, but that could be something that you could offer to your elementary kids as grand prizes for finishing the program. And teens, I know teens are hard. Teens are very fickle. My advice, gift cards. I've seen a lot of libraries give away gift cards as prizes for summer, as a grand prize for summer reading. So think Amazon, think Barnes and Noble, or art and craft baskets. I know Davenport Public Library last year, they gave away a craft basket as part of a grand prize for teens. They also gave away gift cards as well. And you could consider having an after-hours teen gaming party for a teen who wins a grand prize. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So with a grand prize, another option, have a private program or an experience for a winner. So what do I mean by that? So for teens, you could consider giving them a after hours event at the library. So maybe having a special event where you have Nerf tag in the library, or you have an after hours gaming party for the team that wins and 5 of their friends to come into the library after hours and play. That could be a wonderful grand prize idea for a teen. For kids, maybe you have a night where the child who's the grand prize winner and their family come into the library after hours, and maybe there's a special performer like someone from the Blank Park Zoo or from the Science Center come in and do a special activity with them as a way of receiving a grand prize from the library. This was last year's example. The Central Library in Des Moines, for their grand prize winner, this child decided they wanted to have a Harry Potter escape room. So the library created a grand prize of having a Harry Potter escape room just for this grand prize winner. They turned their whole room into Hogwarts, and they had to answer challenges to get out of the room and escape the room. They made potions. They really got into it. It was very creative, very fun, and it's something that youth will remember. So consider those things. And for preschool, I will add also, if you have a preschooler who wins the grand prize, maybe you have a sensory night just for them and their family where you have sensory activities for them and different things that they can interact with after hours at the library. But those are just some things to consider. The other thing you need to consider is how will you register youth and teens for your program, especially with your daycares, preschoolers, summer camp groups. Think about how will you register those entities? Will you have a group form for them to fill out instead of having an individual form for the kids and the teens? Maybe for groups, you have just a form, a group form just for them, so that way they can complete the activities and then fill it out as a group, and then they turn it in for a prize. So think about those things as you reach out and work with these daycares, preschools, and summer camp groups. With schools, can they help you register kids before summer reading? Think about having field trips to the library in May. Maybe you have a class of 2nd graders or 3rd graders and have them come to the library in May to learn about the summer reading program, to have them get a tour of the library and maybe do a scavenger hunt. or maybe sign them up before summer reading. So that way they know, hey, mom, I want to come to the library. I want to participate in this. So think about those partnerships and how your schools in your community can help. And also, how will you use that data at the end of your summer reading program? If you notice through your registrations when it's August and you're looking through who came to your programs, who registered for your programs, you're looking at your schools. Maybe you're seeing, oh, well, school A came to a lot of my programs, but wow, I really don't have a relationship with school B or school C. Maybe that's an indicator that I need to reach out to them more. So really look at that data and look at how you will use that at the end of summer reading. And I'm just going to look at the chats real quick. I see a lot of people saying these are so cool ideas. I love it. Wonderful. All right. We are going to move to birth through kindergarten story time ideas. Now, I want to clarify at the bottom of the page here, I get a lot of questions like, where are the story time ideas? Where are the story time ideas? Pages 156 to 167 in the programming portion of the resource guide has all of the story time ideas for birth through kindergarten. I'm going to share a couple of ideas that are not in the resource guide that you can do for your summer story times for kiddos. So one of my favorite programs that I loved doing, and I just smile every time that I think about this. I had a swim story time for 2 years at the Southside Library. And that middle picture is me in my suit reading to the kiddos. Eastside Library also had this program, and Altoona had this program at their library as well. What it is a 20-minute story time where I featured stories. We sing songs in or outside the pool. And then afterwards, kids could play in the pool after the story time was over. For this program, what I would recommend is that you connect with your Parks and Recreation department or the pool director in early January or February to set this up. Because right now, Parks and Recs departments, they're working on hiring people and getting their summer plans going. So really connect with them and ask them, if you have a pool nearby, ask them how you could bring story times to their pool. I would also schedule story times before the pool opens to the public. That way it's more centered just for your attendees. And that way it feels like it's more catered to them. Also, if you don't have a pool nearby, or if you have a splash pad in your town or community, consider offering a splash pad story time. That way it's more, people can attend it more. It's open. The kids can just play in the splash pad afterwards. It's free, and it's just a fun activity. The cool thing about this was with the Parks and Rec department, I was able to schedule these and they were free for the attendees. As time went on, they asked, like the next time I did, they asked that attendees paid a small discounted rate to get into the pool. But again, talk to your Parks and Recs department and see what you guys could work out. It was so much fun. Another fun program that I did was Sunshine Story Time. And the old library that I used to work at, the Southside Library, they had a huge yard, huge outdoor yard with trees. And I really wanted to do something outside with them to get the kids moving. So we offered a 20 to 30-minute outdoor story time with songs, movement, and playtime afterwards. For the setup, we used a flat grassy area on the flat grassy area or near the trees if you have the space. We asked patrons to bring a blanket, chair, or a tarp to sit outdoors. The library also had blankets and tarps for kids to sit on as well if there weren't any available. If you are near a park or if you have a park in your town, contact your Parks and Recreation department to see if you can use their park or shelter. And be mindful of extreme heat and storms for the sunshine story time. And I also want to add to the swim story time. Be mindful of extreme heat and storms. If it's raining, you want to make sure you communicate that the library is going to have the story time indoors. So make sure you communicate that on your Facebook page, social media, um, just to just so that way parents are aware and they know what to do. Um, and for the play activities afterwards, after the story time, we had bubbles, we had sidewalk chalk, we had outdoor games like a giant Connect Four. It was just a lot of fun for the kids, and it was just nice to be outside with the kids and the parents. So we're going to switch gears and move to elementary age programming ideas. And for this age group, I was targeting ages 6 to 11. One thing that I noticed in the summer reading survey that you guys filled out in August or September, a lot of you had said, wow, I really wish there was a scavenger hunt. Why isn't there a scavenger hunt? Well, guess what? iRead heard you loud and clear, and they put together a printable endangered scavenger hunt. That is pages 120 to 125 in the resource guide. The kids can look for these animals. These are endangered animals. And all you have to do is print out the pictures. So print out the pictures, hang them up in your library, or have a library aide or a staff member hang them up in your library. You could print out the scavenger hunt checklist for kids and their families, and then they can go around your library and find the endangered animals for the scavenger hunt. And when they do find the animals, there is some information about each endangered animal. I really appreciated that, and it was wonderful to see that iRead heard librarians loud and clear and put together a scavenger hunt. The other thing I want to add, and I'm just looking at my notes, pages 178 to 234, there are coloring printables, there are dot to dots, there are mazes, puzzles. All of these are free, and you can print them out from the resource guide and use them as passive activities in your library. So please don't be afraid to use those resources. They are there for you. With Read, Renew, Repeat, there are a lot of box programs, and I love box programs. One of the ideas that they have is making a cardboard pinball machine out of cardboard. This is page 244 in the arts and crafts portion of the resource guide. For this, all you do is you put together a recycled rectangular cardboard box, heavy-duty scissors, have a hot glue gun with glue sticks, a craft knife with adult supervision, and you put together a cardboard pinball machine. So you're cutting out different cardboards and putting it together with hot glue. And then you can give the kids bouncy balls so that way they can make their own cardboard pinball machine. Super fun, super cute. Also, think outside the box with your programming. This is page 170 of the programming portion of the resource guide. I loved this idea because it's open-ended and it's a process art-oriented program. Now, what do I mean by process art? Process art is where basically you put out the materials and you let kids make what they want. This is great because it encourages creativity, encourages language skills, and they're opening up their imaginations. So they recommend to use found items, so cardboard boxes, newspapers, set it out, and kids and families are asked to create whatever they want. So have some tape, pencils, scissors, markers, crayons, googly eyes, pipe cleaners, whatever you want, and have the kids decorate that box and make it whatever they want. This is a great way to use up old craft supplies. How many of you guys have old craft supplies from last summer reading or 2 summer readings ago? Do I see some hands up or yeses in the chat? Because I know you do. Yo, I'm seeing it. Yes, Lauren Roberts saying yes. This is, yes, I see a lot of yeses. This is a great way to use up those old craft supplies. And you can tie it to books like the book Not a Box by Antoinette Portis. Or you could have a special event where you're watching the movie Cars and you can have the kids sitting in a box and they design their own car out of a box. The possibilities are endless. So take a peek at page 170. Mini terrariums. This is a awesome craft idea on page 266. They have small mason jars. You'll need nature items, so pine cones, grass, leaves, moss, etc. Hot glue gun, glue sticks, small animal figurines. You can get the small animal figurines on Amazon. I will say, when I made this, a good tip for you: use glass mason jars. Do not use plastic. The hot glue gun didn't work very well, and it just kind of made it look womp womp, like things were falling over. And I was like, oh my God, this is an epic fail. So please use glass mason jars, not plastic. It'll help everything stay in place. This program can be held for families, tweens or teens, or even adults. Okay, I have to talk about the puzzle swap. I have to talk about this. So this idea came to me from a friend, a very dear friend of mine. At the Southside Library, what they have puzzle swaps, and it's so cool. They have I would recommend 3 tables, signs with puzzle counts. So example, one table can be 1 to 300 piece puzzles. The next table, 400 to 750 piece puzzles. And the next table, 800 and up piece puzzles. And have an attendance sheet, so that way people come in and can make a tally to say that they attended. But what it is people just bring their new or used puzzles and they put them on the tables and people just swap them out for the ones that they want. I could not believe it. My friend had 26 people the first time she had it at her library. She had it for one Saturday a month from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. She had 26 people the first time she had it. And just recently she had 55. There were people waiting outside the door because they advertised the puzzle swap on their Facebook page. And I asked one lady, I said, why are you bringing your puzzles? I'm just curious. And she said to me, well, I don't want to spend $20, $30 at Barnes & Noble or Amazon when I can go to the library and exchange it for free. And I thought, wow, that's genius. And then after the program, all the patrons went into the library. They either got signed up for library cards, they checked out books, and they just hung out in the library. It's a great activity, and I just cannot believe it's so cool to see people swapping out their puzzles. This program can be held as a family program, or it can be held as an adult program. This is a really cool activity. This is recycled plastic water bottle sun catchers. It's on page 283 in the arts and crafts portion of the guide. Patty from Strawberry Point Public Library was so kind to let me take a picture of this. This is their plastic water bottle sun catchers, but you take plastic water bottles that are empty, permanent markers, string, fishing line, and scissors. You can have the kids color with a Sharpie inside the plastic bottle once it's cut, or you can do paint. But it's so cool. And then they cut it once it's dry and they hang it, and it's so cool. They had several of these hanging up inside the library, and they are so awesome to look at. This program can be held as a teen program, or it can be held as an adult program. Okay, and we have puzzle piece canvas art. This is on page 275 of the arts and crafts portion. All you do is take an 8x10-inch canvas, craft glue, like your tacky glue, permanent markers, or if you have like, or crayons works too, and then puzzle pieces. So some of you might have some old puzzles that are missing pieces. This is a great way to use up those old puzzles, but basically just letting kids or teens draw whatever they want on the canvas with markers or crayons, and then they take that tacky glue and glue puzzle pieces to make their art. I made a tree out of mine, and I had an old puzzle that had different shapes. So some looked like butterflies, some puzzle pieces looked like uh, fireflies, some pieces look very different. And so I was able to glue them to make a tree out of my old puzzle pieces. But this is a super fun, super cool activity that you could do with your youth. Other programming ideas. Check with your local parks and recreation department to see what kind of activities or services they could provide for your library. At the Southside Library, I had reached out to their environmental education specialist, and he came, his name is Joel, he came in and talked to us about monarch butterflies, why they migrate to Mexico, and he brought different activities that the kids could do and that adults could learn from. So reach out to your local Parks and Recreation department to see what they can offer. And that program was free, by the way. Other program ideas. Use your county conservation or naturalist office or extension office. I put together the link to the Iowa Association of Naturalists is down below. See what ISU Extension could offer to your library or the naturalists to see if they can offer some free programs, either for youth or adults. The other thing I wanted to share with you is the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, Iowa DNR. Gus Elliott is their conservation education specialist. I put his contact information below. He is creating a new outreach program at the department, and they're looking to do more outreach with youngsters. And so he's a former educator, former principal, and he would like to bring story time ideas, stories, and maybe an activity with kids. And so they're looking to do a lot more outreach. The story time items would be free. Also down below, he also has outdoor skill specialists, and I put their contact information below, as well as the interpretive naturalist for Central Iowa. Some of their programs are free, depending upon what you're looking for as far as outdoor skills or outdoor activities. Some may have a cost. So for Gus, for story times, I would contact Gus. For the outdoor skill specialists and the interpretive naturalists for Central Iowa, contact the individuals below. And my advice, he said to contact them early because, as you know, calendars do fill up. Other program ideas. Contact your recycling center or your public works department. Maybe they have a recycling truck that a recycling specialist could come and bring the truck for a touch-it truck for kids or adults. So contact your site recycling center or your public works department. And finally, look at your Earth Day crafts and activities. This would be a great time to reuse and recycle those Earth Day craft activities for read, renew, repeat. So this would be a great activity or a great time to do that. Okay, switching gears, we are going to go to tween and teen programming ideas. For tweens, this will be for ages 9 to 11. For teens, we are gearing this for 12 to 18-year-olds. So there's a Get Outside Photo Challenge on page 129 in the programming guide portion of the guide. What this is it's a prompt where teens are given photo prompts, and you could have them take pictures of items that relate to conservation around their neighborhoods using their cell phone cameras. They could work together in pairs, or they can work alone, but they just take pictures of different items in the environment, whether it's a nice sky or animals, anything in nature. And they could submit those pictures to the librarian. And if you have a bulletin board or a place to hang them up, you could hang them up there. Franken activities. You're probably like, what the heck? What is Franken activities? These are activities that you're just putting together from different pieces. From page 127 in the programming portion of the guide, there's an activity called Franken Games, where you're repurposing old pieces from games, old games from board games, discarded games, and you're just taking various craft supplies. You're combining those parts from previously existing board games or card games, and you're making up a new game. And you combine them to make a Franken game. Very cool idea. Great way to use up those old games that you don't have, that are not circling anymore, or if you have old pieces that are missing. Another idea, and this is not in the resource guide, but this is from Sam Reed. She is at the Central Library. She came up with a program called Frankenstuffies. And what it is you take old stuffed animals, you cut them up, you have the teens cut them up, and you offer some big needles and some embroidery thread, and they can sew them onto different parts of the stuffed animals. This is super fun. This is a picture of what the kids created, but you're teaching basic sewing skills. They're learning hand and eye coordination. A great activity, super fun. They get to show their creativity and their style, making a Frankenstuffy. Another activity that is totally creepy is the creepy upcycled toy planters. This is page 249 in the arts and crafts portion of the guide. The materials you'll need: have some donated dolls, some old dolls, hollow plastic toys, some garden netting, rocks, small or medium sized, succulents or artificial plants, small pots or planters, potting soil, tape, markers, and rulers. But teens can cut the top off of the doll's head and then fill it with the netting, rocks, and items to make a toy planter. There's a library in Medford Public Library in Medford, Massachusetts. This is what they put together for their doll head succulent planters. Super creepy, super fun. But teens, I could see them getting really, really creative with this. And some renewed and recycled arts and crafts. You can try teaching bullet journaling, and that's on page 242. They just ask for using washi tape, rulers, small starter journals, pencils, erasers, markers, scissors, stickers, or stamps. But teaching teens how to use a bullet journal and what it's used for. That's to the left of your screen. That's a picture of my page tracker. That was last year's bullet journal for my reading journal. But I love how you can make your own style of bullet journaling. So that's a craft you could do with teens. You could also teach them how to create their own nature journal on page 248. You just take recycled paper, embroidery needle and thread. You can have some real leaves or fake leaves, crayons, markers, pencils, and then they can make their own nature journal by sewing it together. And also at the bottom, page 260 has tips on hosting a nature journal program as well. Oh, spa day. You got to have a spa day at the library. Spa day is on page 169 of the programming portion. This is Sumner Public Library. Looks like for January 18th, they put together a spa day, and it was for ages 14 and up. They offered bath salts, body scrubs, skincare. You could have the teens make sugar scrubs, lip scrub, lotion. I've done bath bombs, and I've done those. And I can tell you, when I used the oils, the essential oils, it made our meeting room smell like mint and lavender and peppermint. It was so fun. It was messy, but it was a lot of fun. But this is something that you could offer to teens as a way of teaching them how to provide self-care for themselves at the library and why self-care is important. And I don't know about you, but man, what is old is new. The resource guide also recommended creating no-sew t-shirt bags on page 148 in their programming portion. You just take old t-shirts, scissors, tape, marker rulers. You cut off the top of the collar of the shirt along with the sleeves, and then you cut little snippets at the bottom, and then the teens just tie knots to keep the bag portion in place. But then they have their own t-shirt bag. So, and I remember making these a long time ago. So what's old is new. This is a really cool idea. I'm sorry, I'm moving my camera real quick. This is a clothing giveaway and exchange, and Davenport Public Library held this program in January. And what they did was they took donations of different types of formal wear. Their patrons browse the donations and they could take home each one of each garment type. Especially in January, since there's all these dances that come up, Spree and Sadie Hawkins dance and so forth. But I thought, wouldn't that be a really cool idea in the summer to offer something like that? Because I know homecomings for dances is further down the road, but I think that'd be a really cool idea to offer that to your teen patrons. Another idea you could do is mindfulness glitter jars. This is on page 264. This is a nice calming activity because yes, young kids could do this, but sometimes teens also need those moments of feeling calm and bringing a sense of calm to their lives. So they recommend recycled glass or glass jars or plastic bottles, having water, some Elmer's washable clear glue, some fine chunky glitter or bingo chips. The hot glue gun is optional. I made this without a hot glue gun, and it worked fine. I like to recommend using the Voss plastic water bottles or the 12-pack bulk empty plastic reusable water bottles with black lids. I put the Amazon link below, but this is a fun activity. They can just make it however they want and customize it any way they want. And looks like Alexandra's saying they can use buttons as well. Absolutely. So this would be another great activity for your teens and tweens. The other thing to tell you, we have free All Ira Reads author virtual visits that are coming up. This will be happening, both events for kids and teens on Wednesday, June 12th. The registration will open mid-April. For kids, we will have Celia C. Perez from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. She will be discussing her book, Tumble. And then from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m., we will have Samira Ahmed to discuss Hollow Fires for teens. This would be a great opportunity for you to have virtual parties, virtual viewing parties with your kids or teens. We will have also a team from the Iowa Student Poet Ambassador Program that will be interviewing the authors, and we will take questions from the kids and teens that they can ask during the programs as well. And I just wanted to have some final thoughts in regards to this year's summer reading program. My biggest piece of advice for anyone that has not started a summer reading program or has been a seasoned pro, make summer reading your own. Really use the resource guide as a springboard for ideas. It doesn't have to be the solve all end all, but you can make this your own and just use that guide to just brainstorm some ideas that you want for your program. And really plan your programs based on the needs and wants of your community. If you see needs and wants that they are asking for, tailor those programs around that. And be flexible on the themed programs. And I say that because you don't have to create themed programs from the resource guide. If you know you have a group of kids that are interested in Dogman and you want to do a Dogman program during summer, do it. If you have a group of teens that are interested in manga and you want to have a manga themed program at your library and it doesn't fit the theme, that's okay. Do it. Make make it tailored to the based on your needs and your wants of your community. And there's no one way to conduct a summer reading program. Every program at each library is going to look different, and that is okay. Just make sure you think about your space, think about your staff, think about what talents your staff have that could bring to the table, that they could help you with your summer programming. So that way you're not just trying to do everything. And think about your budget and know your limits. While we're promoting read, renewing, repeating, and restoring, make sure you restore yourself. Make sure you take care of yourself. Summer reading is a very busy time, and you can't put on someone else's oxygen mask until you put on your own. So please take care of yourself because you are needed by your staff and you are needed by your community. And if you need more inspiration and you're like, man, I don't know what else to do, don't worry, I got you covered. Last year I offered a Pinterest board and everyone really loved it. And so I kept it this year. So there's the State Library of Iowa's Summer Library 2024 Pinterest board. Feel free to look on those boards. I have different activities for preschool, elementary, teen, tween, and adult program ideas as well. So I will be updating it frequently, and it will be updated through summer of 2024. Also, iRead also has a Pinterest page. They have wonderful ideas as well. So I added their Pinterest page at the bottom. So if you can get more inspiration and more ideas, feel free. They also have a Facebook group. So check out their Facebook group. It's under iRead 2024, Read, Renew, Repeat. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. If you are staying for the breakout session, hang tight. We will get those started, but this ends the formal presentation. So if you have to go, I totally understand. You will receive credit, but for those who are staying for the breakout portion, hang on tight. But I just want to say thank you so much, and I appreciate all that you do for your libraries this summer.
Hey, Janeé. This is Sam.
Hello.
Hey, are we ready to start those breakout rooms?
Yes, is there anything I should add or anything you wanted to add or anyone
I
else?
don't think so. So, yeah, we'll spend the rest of our time together in these rooms. Once you're done discussing, um, it's up to you all just to take off from there. Um, and I always remind people that like this is really your time. We know that there's a lot of valuable information to be gained from what Janeé or other state library people present, but you all are the ones on the front lines every day doing this work. So you all have great ideas to share, I am sure. So do be prepared to chime in the chat here and or come off mute once you get into your breakout rooms to share. So I think I've got everything set. Janeé, the only thing I think because you're a host, I'm not able to move you around, but you should be able just to pop into room 1. And then we've got Brenda Becky set up in room 2 and Brenda set up in room 3, who will be on hand to facilitate some discussions today. So with that being said, I'm going to open up the rooms, and my thanks to Janeé for leading us through this webinar and to Becky and Brenda for facilitating some discussions here. So we'll see you all. Thank you.